YouTube, it's Christine with Souls Rising, hopping on today with some more Oracle messages, and today's video is for all of my Libras out there. So if you have Libra as your sun, moon, or your rising sign, stick around. These are your messages. I'm going to start with the Oracle cards, and then I'll jump over to Tarot. I just like to add the Tarot in because I feel like it gives a little bit more information and a little bit more specifics to the reading. And if you guys are looking for a personal private reading, I do provide them. You will find all the information needed on how to book one on my website, which is linked in the description box below. And remember that these are collective messages. Anything that comes in, pay attention to if it resonates for you or if it doesn't. If it's not, then it's not for you. That's okay. These are timeless. So whenever this video makes its way to you, that is the right time for you to receive the message. Let's jump in with the Oracle cards, guys. What do my Libras need to know, Spirit? What does Libra need to know right now? All right, Libra. So let me show you guys the cards that we got. So I actually have, I'll show you the first three that I pulled. And then I actually have a card that flew itself into what is essentially the first position, sort of overlapping the first two rows of cards. So the very first card is Synergy, which is like the card of like celebration. Look how happy these figures are. Things coming together, coming into sync, perfectly lining up, feeling good, feeling like in flow, right? Feeling good about ourselves. And then we have this next card, the Unexpected, coming in. Okay. And unexpected, that can be positive or negative. Okay, just because there's a lot of fiery energy on this card doesn't necessarily mean it's something bad. The unexpected can also be like surprises, like positive things that just we weren't like expecting them to happen, and then they show up and they land in our lap. And then the next card, which is Passion. And there's a couple on that card. So this does sort of imply relationship involvement. Could be a lover or a love romance relationship. And then the second row, I have Truth, Yule or Hope, and Ostara, which is Grace. It's a card of springtime, Easter, new beginnings, rebirth energy here. And then the card that suddenly flew itself out sort of in front of all of these cards is this card, Solar Cycle Purpose. Okay, so I'm going to start with this card with doing this reading because of that. So this is really then the card that is kicking off the reading, and it's sort of shadowing over the whole reading. And what I really got when I saw this card come out for my Libras is this sense that you guys are leaving behind a cycle. It's like one door is closing and a new door is opening. And I got this sense of like riding off into the sunset, you know, like at the end of like of a fairy tale, they ride off into the sunset together. That's sort of the energy I was getting with this. You can kind of see this pathway is leading us towards the sunset. And I do hear like you're going to get your happy ending. Okay. So whatever's like kind of going on with the current cycle that's closing out, know that a door is about, that cycle is almost done, and a door is swinging open that's actually leading you to your happy ending, that's allowing you to finally get everything that you were dreaming of. It's coming in for you now. Okay, I do feel like, you know, you notice the colors on this card, there's a lot of muted gray colors around this that was really sticking out to me when I pulled this card for you guys. And it feels to me like you're closing out a cycle that I feel like, and maybe the whole thing wasn't hard or harsh, but I feel like the ending was, okay? So it sort of feels like whatever has been wrapping up for you with this cycle that is on its way out has felt a little draining, or maybe has left you feeling a little empty inside, a little lost or confused. And I do kind of get a sense of like you're done with it. Like you're ready to be done with it. Like you need a little color and a little life back in your life, like a little vibrancy back to come back in your life, a little sunshine. You could use a little sunshine, right? It's like if you have too many dreary gray days and you like need to see that sun. That's kind of the vibe I get with this, okay? And I get you're going to get it. It's coming. It's right here, and it's opening up now to you. With these first three cards, we had, the synergy with the unexpected and the passion card. I'm really feeling with these that my Libras out there, I feel like you were going through what you felt was maybe a high period where like things were going sort of well. It felt like everything was coming together. And then all of a sudden it's like something happens, boom, that you weren't expecting. And it's like you had to recalibrate. Okay, for some of you, not for everyone watching this, but for some of you Libras, you may have felt like you experienced a loss with this, or that almost like you lost everything, or you lost it all. And this may have just been really unexpected for you, and really, I feel challenging. I do get the sense with this card of challenging. Now, again, unexpected doesn't have to be bad, but sometimes even good things landing in our lap can throw us for a little bit of a loop as we adjust to them or figure out how they're going to fit into our lives. For example, like unexpected pregnancy, right? Maybe you feel like everything's going great, everything's lining up, and then boom, you get some news like that dropped in your lap, and you have to totally rethink things like, wait, like, how does this change everything? How do I have to proceed now, because now there's this, unexpected blessing perhaps coming in. For some of my Libras, I think this is actually something that was really just hard to deal with, or really was pushed you to your limit. I'm hearing pushed some of you to your limit. Like this girl's at her limit, right? She's like screaming. She's like, fuck it. Like, I've had it. Okay, I also keep seeing all that energy kind of flying off her. I also see coins flying off her. So some of you may have had some financial like loss with this, event that happened. I do feel like this is past. I keep reading it as past. Like I feel like this already happened. It's possible for some of my Libras watching this that this is coming in or is happening sort of presently. But I don't feel like that's true for most of you. I think this has recently happened, okay? As this cycle has been closing out for you. I feel you're right at the threshold, though, between the two, with this card coming out first. But this may have thrown you for a loop. Whatever this unexpected event or blessing was, whether it was good or bad or ugly, I feel that it threw my Libras for a loop. And it made your head spin a bit. And you suddenly were questioning things. Maybe all of a sudden you're not in flow anymore. And you're trying to get your bearings and get your grounding beneath you. For some of you, this may have involved a relationship or partnership with this passion card coming out, okay? This could be existing partnerships. It could be past partnerships, or even an incoming partnership being represented here. But I do feel like with the passion card, whether this is a relationship or not for you, this is talking about, what do we care about? What are we passionate about? So whatever this is may have really pushed you to your limit to get you to really think things through about like, what is it that I need in my life most? What am I most passionate about? Almost like helping you find your true passions. All right. So for some of you, this may not be a person. For some of you, this may be like a job or a career or a new interest that you discovered, that you've found this brand new energy with, this new passion for. I do feel like most of my Libras, through whatever you've been going through, you've been learning a lot about yourself through the process. Like it's really almost like made you more vulnerable, or opened you up and exposed you a little bit to get you to really see the truth of something, okay? Especially with this next card here showing up. Because this is also a card, with the truth, but you'll notice this card is depicted, she's taking a mask off. So for some of my Libras out there, I believe that you may have felt good, like it looked like things were going really well, you felt like you were in flow, but something about the situation was false or wasn't quite right, and it needed to be revealed for what it truly was. or the process of it coming undone was revealing a truth about yourself to you. So sometimes it's not about like seeing the truth about, you know, a relationship, situationship. Sometimes it's seeing the truth within us, like finding the truth within us, like that maybe there's something about how we feel or something about our life, how we're living it that has become false, or maybe we're not being authentic in some way to our true passions or to what we really need and want in our life. Maybe something, this could even be something that just grew stale, right? You know, sometimes something starts off really fresh and great and wonderful, and then it gets old and it grows stale and we're just sort of done with it. Because I definitely get with this card here that we kicked off with, of this being stale energy, old stale energy that is just dead, like dead on the vine. It's done and it needed to be done. And I feel like you've been walking away from it. You've been moving through whatever you need to move through so that you can walk away, so you can get to your happy ending, your happy place coming in with this brand new cycle that I feel is bringing a lot of beauty and a lot of color back into your life. The next card we have is the card of Yule, which again is a card about hope, okay, renewal. This is letting go of what needs to die. This ties in with Christmas time and winter time. Which could be, for some of you out there, this could be indicating a timeline or a time marker for you of Christmas time being important for you. But I do believe that this card is also talking about this concept of death and dying and letting go of what needs to be done, putting something to bed, putting something to rest, to prepare to sow the seeds for the new beginning. And I feel like this is kind of where my Libras have been. And even notice here, Spirit's like just validating this. They're showing me, they're bringing my eye to the fact that, look, one of these torches is going out. See, the light is going out, but another torch is being lit, okay? So you may have lost your passion for something or someone. And in that process, maybe this was really hard and put you into some soul searching, trying to really rediscover, like, what do I want here? Or where do I go from here? I thought everything was good. I thought things were going well. I thought I was in flow, and now something's off. Something's not gelling anymore. And maybe you've been kind of focused on this thing that's been dying from your life, this thing that's been being put to rest, the old cycle that's closing out. And some of you may not be as focused on, or have not even seen this new one that's been being fired up in the process. Remember that energy doesn't truly die or go away. Energy isn't destroyed. It simply changes form. It changes shape, right? And that's kind of, it's almost like energy came out here, but it's going in here. So for some of you, this is about shifting gears in your life, and you've been sort of, your energy or your passion or your interest has been moving from one place and into another, into something new. And maybe it's just been really hard, and all that you've been able to see for a while is the grayness, the gray zone. But I feel like what's happening, the message now is that the new door is opening. This is ready to be done. And your new door, this new walkway into the sunset, to the happy ending of your story here, is on its way in. It's coming. Or it's already presenting itself. Maybe you haven't recognized it for what it is yet. And then we have this Easter card of grace. This is a card of abundance, fertility, new beginnings. So, you know, we have this guy here, right? He said, you know, we're stripping off what's false, maybe discovering some new truths about someone else or about ourselves, a situation. And it's allowing, you know, us to see what needs to go away, but also where we need to put more of our energy and more of our focus to have something new. Like you're planting seeds with this. You're planting seeds for the new, okay? So let's pull the tarot. I want to get some clarification on this message from my Libras out there. Spirit, what do we need to know? What else do my Libras need to understand to make sense of this message? Okay, Libra, wow. We have a bunch of major arcana coming out. So it's no coincidence that you've got this card of cycles showing up here of things, you know, one door closing and another opening. Because when a lot of major arcana pop out in a tarot reading, it means that whatever is shifting, changing in your life, evolving, whatever the situation is, it's really big. It's a big deal. It's not just like a little or small change. It's like life-altering kinds of changes that are happening, or major, massive shifts that are occurring that are really, really key or important either to your life cycle, your life path, or your soul's growth and evolution. So the first card that we have popping out here is the Emperor. This can be a masculine energy, a strong masculine energy, usually an accomplished masculine, or someone who has built a lot for themselves. And the Emperor is usually a figure who has a lot of pride in what they have built for themselves and created. This also could be you, Libra, even if you're a female or feminine, just because of that representation of the Emperor. This is like the Emperor looks back at his empire, at what he has built, what he has created, okay? This also can be father. So for some of you, this could be a father or father figure, father energy. And then we have that followed by the Star, which is the card of hope, restoring hope, renewed hope, having hope for something. I also heard knowing that things will all work out, okay? So maybe some of you, there was fear or concern about something that you had built and would it last, or concern about a masculine figure in your life. And it's sort of like this sense of like, know that it'll all work out, like know that everything will work out. Underneath, we have then the card of Justice popping out, okay? With the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands talks about, it's like the things that we're carrying on us, the burdens, the things that weigh us down. Can talk about working really hard or even working too hard, overworking on something. But I find that this is usually like things that burden us, things that weigh us down or are stealing our energy away from us. And then we have Strength. Again, another major arcana. So the Emperor, the Star, and Justice are all major arcana here, with the Ten of Wands then in the middle. And ultimately, that is actually, the Ten of Wands is the only minor arcana card I have popping up here in this so far. So Strength is another major arcana, and this is courage, finding the courage within, facing down our fears, facing our shadows, facing down something that feels like bigger than us or frightening to us. And realizing that we have what it takes, to climb this mountain and to overcome whatever this challenge or obstacle is that we feel like we've been facing, okay? And I'm hearing all these months, so for some of you, this has been playing out over a few months' time. That may not be for everybody, but for some of my Libras, that is a specific time frame popping in. And then under it all, I have the High Priestess. Okay, so all these major arcana are like sandwiching my Ten of Wands. It's sort of in the middle, and it's like circled by all these major arcana. The High Priestess is like deep inner knowing. It's also higher perspective, higher self, intuition. And the High Priestess can't be fooled. Like, she knows her stuff. She's able to transform situations. She's kind of like a master alchemist, similar to the Magician. She's like, you know, she's a bad bitch, right? High Priestess is a bad bitch. And she knows, like, she has that deeper knowing, that inner wisdom, okay, about a person, a situation, about what's going on. She has the scoop, the real deal. So let me just take a minute here, because I feel like there's something important about the way that these cards have come out. Some of my Libras watching this need to know that you have what it takes to keep going, okay? So don't give up. Like, some of my Libras, I feel like, are really stuck in this Ten of Wands energy of sort of feeling really tired, worn down by whatever they've been going through. And know that it's like the jig is up, okay? You see this little butterfly, and this person feels like, I can't take anymore. And here's this little butterfly going, okay, pulling that little cord and releasing all that heaviness, releasing all those burdens for you. So this energy is about to lighten up, guys, okay? So the things you've been carrying that have felt really heavy, especially if it's been these last few months, it's coming off, it's coming loose, okay? And there is justice with this. So some of my Libras, you know, obviously, you know, you guys are the symbol, your symbol is the scales of justice, okay? Balance and the need for balance. But you're going to have balance with all of this. I actually don't think this is representing you in this case. I actually feel like this is just literally like legal things and balance, everything coming together. For some of you, this may be inner, but I feel like for most of my Libras watching this, this is something outside of you. So something maybe that you felt like, maybe you felt like you had to take the weight of too much of something that was unfair that happened either in a relationship or in a situation, like you were in flow and everything felt really good, and then bam, this like unexpected event pops in or happens that feels really unfair or really challenging. And I do feel like for a lot of my Libras, there is a sense of like, what the hell had just happened here? And how did this happen this way? I can't believe that this is happening with this energy. And this is getting justice for that, like justice being done and everything being wrapped up. I hear wrapped up. And it's interesting. I also kept getting with this Emperor card, I keep seeing, there's like a texture on these sides of this like chair here, or this throne for the Emperor. And I keep seeing it as like corn cobs. And I was like asking Spirit, like, what's with the corn cobs? Why are you showing me that? And I'm hearing like the end of the harvest. Okay, this is referencing like the end of a harvest, when we've sort of gotten all that we can get from our yield. We've gotten everything we can get from something, you know, milked it dry, right? And all that's left now are the empty husks. All that's left here now is the empty cob. Like the corn is all chewed away and all we have left is the cob. And it's like there isn't much left to do with it. Okay. Maybe you grind it up and you toss it in a field somewhere, you know, but there's not a lot that you're going to do with this. It usually gets tossed away or stripped off. But it's like all the nutrients, everything that had something of value or to offer is gone from the situation. It's been sort of stripped away. And I feel like that's the old door that's closing out. It's like you've gotten everything you could get from it. And that's part of why it's time for things to sort of wrap up. Again, this can be a time reference too. So we had that Yule card coming in. So maybe there's something here with harvest time and then Christmas time as like a timeline coming in. Maybe you've got a door kind of closing out around the harvest right now. And then sort of like as you're kind of seeing it, you know, the sun setting on one thing in your life around that time, as we start heading into Christmas and New Year's, you've got like something new sort of really emerging. But it's already here. I do want to draw your eye to that. It is already here. The energy of this is, they're both there at the same time. Okay, so I just keep getting, you guys don't maybe totally see the new energy. Okay, some of you are just not focused on it, or you can't see it quite yet, but it's there. Energy is there. Remember that things in the physical, they don't start in the physical, they start energetically. So sometimes the energy of something whooshes in, but it hasn't fully manifested itself in a way that we can see, hear, and feel around us. It's more like an inner knowing, especially with this High Priestess here. Remember, inner knowing. And I do feel like some of my Libras, even if you can't see this shift, you're starting to feel it happening. So maybe you don't totally trust it just yet, but you kind of know that you can do it, that you're going to get through it. Okay, and that there is reason to be hopeful. So even though maybe you got thrown for a loop, Libra, with something unexpected that you didn't see coming, there's a lot of reasons to be hopeful here about the future. For some of my Libras, this, again, you know, I was saying, you know, look, this unexpected might have not been a bad thing. Maybe some of you are doing good and you're in your flow and you're feeling good, and there's actually a new relationship popping in here that is unexpected and sort of throws you for a loop where you're like, oh, I thought I knew what was happening here and now I have no idea, because now boom, I just fell in love and there's somebody amazing stepping into my life, right? You know, because you just closed out a major cycle and now you get your happy ending. It's coming in. I do feel though for a lot of my Libras, if that is the case, you probably also had a relationship that just closed out or ended with this. Maybe not everybody watching this video, but I really feel strongly that this energy with the ending having happened or being has been happening, And so it could be that just you closing out a personal growth cycle has allowed a new relationship to step in. But I feel for a lot of my Libras, you actually maybe had to end one in order to open the door for the new one to come. I want to pull like 2 more cards from the tarot for you guys, just to see what else my Libras might need to know that will help you to move forward into this beautiful new energy, this new cycle that is open, this new door. I just heard don't be afraid. Okay, so maybe for somebody watching this, don't be afraid when this door opens. Don't be afraid of it. Some of you have been waiting so long for this, you were like ready to give up because we have 9 of Wands popping out. Okay. Some of you, I feel like you've been through it so much you almost don't even want to see it. Remember I was getting that thing before of like not looking at it? This is almost like, I feel like she's also not looking at the freedom coming in. It's like, hey, there's hope, there's a new beginning. And she's just like, oh, I can't take anymore. I just don't want to even deal with this anymore. No more, please. Okay, but it's like, no, come on, a little bit longer. You can do it. You've got this. You've got this. Like spirit coming in and saying, come on, like the way out is over here. Yeah, 7 of Cups. And we have, I feel like this is like emotional disillusionment. Cups are emotion and water. And the 7 of Cups card very much is a card of disillusionment, of like things maybe not having been what we thought they were, or making a fantasy. Maybe some of you out there watching this, you sort of painted a picture in your head of things being better than they actually were. Remember, we did have this energy of the mask, right? That something maybe looked good on the surface, but underneath it was rotten, or it wasn't the truth of the situation. Or maybe in order for you to make something work, you had to be someone that you are not, or be someone else that wasn't really right for you, took on a new persona that you're ready now to take off and strip away so that, you know, the light can really come back into your life here. You know, and so the 7 of Cups is sort of really seeing things. We have to start to see things for what they really are, you know, where we realize, you know, what's really in the cups, okay? You know, if you notice in this card, see all the cups have items or objects inside of them. And, you know, I'm keep having this image popping in of like the items being in the cups and we can't see what's in the cups. And maybe it looks like on the surface, like, oh my God, I have all these cups. This is awesome. And then the contents get, you know, poured out and you're looking at it going, what the fuck is this? Like, I thought I had all this great stuff, and now that it got like poured out on the floor everywhere, I don't really have as much as I thought, or I don't have what I thought I had. And that is maybe leaving some of my Libras in a state of feeling really emotional and having felt really kind of washed out and really kind of just at your wit's end with something. And for some of you, you may have lost hope. So sort of this sense of like things shifting or changing unexpectedly has left you in a state where you're feeling like, I don't know if I can do it anymore, or I don't know if I'm going to get the life that I really want. Like, is this ever really going to happen for me? And the answer is yes. There is reason for you to have hope, because yes, there is new life here. There is new passion. This card to me, coming out of this card, right? This card came after this one. This feels tumultuous to me. But on the other side of this unexpected event is peace and calm. Look at the energy of this card. Is so different. It's so calm and peaceful. And so I feel like whatever this is that sort of came to an unexpected end or close, or even just that erupted that now is on its way out, it's like it's leaving you in a better place. It's actually leaving you with a lot more peace as it closes out. And some of my Libras don't see it quite yet. And then we have 6 of Pentacles, which is balance. You know, I also, like, again, you know, Pentacles. So I did get earlier that I felt like there was money coming off this girl. So for some of you, your finances may have really been significantly impacted by whatever this unexpected event was that happened. 6 of Pentacles is like kind of that being restored and brought into balance again. You know, this can be a card of inheritance coming in for some as well, or unexpected money maybe coming in for you through maybe the hands of justice, legal battle or something, working in your favor, getting a little money for your trouble. This can also mean, like, this can represent increase in business too in some cases, in that sense that, you know, all the hands here, you know, this can be like lots of people looking for your help or looking for your services and being willing to pay, you know, money in exchange for whatever this is that you're offering. So this can be sort of a card of like a financial growth potential coming in. In relationships, this can represent like something coming in where there's greater give and take, more even exchange. This is also a card of even exchange. And so for those of you that had like, you know, relationship maybe going out and then maybe new relationship coming in, this card can actually talk about that this is a relationship or partnership where there can be a healthier exchange or balance of resources or sharing happening, whether that be emotional or financial. And the next card is the Two of Cups, which again, talking about, you know, connection with another person, relationship, partnership. And this, I hear new beginning. And I'm really being pulled to the Lotus. First of all, just again, another really peaceful card here, but they're pulling my eye to the Lotus. And you know, the Lotus is a flower that grows from the mud. You know, it starts in the muddiest part of the pond and it forces its way up. It has to have the power and the strength to push through all this gunk and all this yuckiness and all this awfulness in order to come up to the surface of the water, where then it blossoms finally into this beautiful flower with all these gorgeous petals. And it gets then everything that it needs, but it can't get it without pushing through that mud first, okay? So some of my Libras, you've been pushing through the mud, or maybe you've been being pushed through the mud a little bit, okay? Like almost the universe sort of, maybe some of you feel like you got your butt kicked a little by the universe lately. It's over, it's ending, all right? It's taking you somewhere better. All of this was leading you to the path of, I'm hearing, that's interesting, I just had the path of redemption, just popped in. It's been leading you to something better. Leading you to something better. Don't give up. Don't give up. You're like right there, Libra. You're right there. You're like in this, but like you're being released. There's release here. Oh, here it is. The Ten of Wands. Yeah. You know, this heaviness is it's coming off. It's coming off. And I think deep down you do know that with the High Priestess showing up. Intuitively, I think you're starting to sense it, you're starting to pick it up, but maybe you just don't see it quite yet. It's not like materialized yet, but the energy of it is there. And when the energy shows up, it's just a matter of time, right, before it comes in. And we did get a couple timeline cards here. I've got the Autumn Harvest showing up and the Yule card showing up. Easter may also be significant for some of you, so maybe something's going to start or begin over this fall winter and then kind of really takes off in like the spring, like early March, April time, like around Easter time. So keep that in mind. For some of you, there may be a more balanced partnership coming in here. You know, this could be business. I feel like it's love though for most of my Libras right now. This feels like more romance, love, especially with this card showing up, passion, right? It's relationship. Let me just get two more cards. Two more cards. Any words of wisdom or hope? Anything to give my Libra some hope here? I'm hearing for some of my Libras learned the lesson. So if you felt like you were being taught a lesson by whatever this unexpected thing was that kind of swept into your life, you learned it, okay? You learned it because we have the guide, which is like the Hierophant, which has to do with mastery, self-mastery, mastery of life lessons. For other of my Libras, I had a really distinct focus on the child here. Some of you, I feel like you walked through something like to show this strength and power to a younger generation. So you may be demonstrating something either for your children or grandchildren, okay, by whatever you just had to walk through, like they're watching you and you're providing an example. It's also going to be leading by example. So maybe some of you are like having to go through something because you're showing others that it's possible, especially if you're like some kind of like a spiritual teacher or, you know, mentor to other people. I'm also feeling like this can be ancestral. So I mentioned children, but this could also be like closing something out for the family line. So closing a harsh cycle for the whole family line so that the future generations coming into this family learn something better. They know something better. You're almost like you're creating the template for them, laying the path for them and showing them that we deserve better, or what we need to do to have something better for ourselves, and literally creating that for them by going through it and laying down the seeds, laying down the path yourself. Because we have that followed then by the Seven of Swords. It's interesting, I kind of get Ten of Wands with this too, sort of this sense of like having to carry a lot of heaviness, and maybe some of you had to carry some ancestral burdens or burdens for your family, or maybe you carried a lot of heaviness or a lot of weight for your children, and you did it ultimately for their benefit, but it was maybe really hard. And maybe also I feel some of you were showing your kids how we deal with betrayal. We're having to show up and show like that we don't put up with certain things. We don't tolerate certain behaviors from other people. Okay, we get the fuck out of Dodge. We don't stick around and let people abuse us or let people harm us or steal and take from us. Okay, the card of Seven of Swords can also be the card of theft or thievery. You know, somebody who steals or takes from us or takes too much from us. And it can be the card of like getting away from something really quick that isn't good. You know, in the traditional Seven of Swords card, you know, in like the Rider-Waite Tarot, you know, it's a figure who is grabbing all these swords, or they're grabbing their stuff and they're booking it out of camp because the camp's on fire. You know, they're not leaving something that's good. They're like getting out because everything's lost, right? Then we have Four of Wands. Four of Wands can be a card of home, but it's also a card of celebration and happiness in the home. And I feel like whatever you guys are leaving behind or being, you know, have just had to go through and fight through and push through, it's ultimately like you learned what you needed to learn from it. You've grown and mastered it, and you're coming, it's bringing you into this. And again, I'm getting that sense, you know, look, we got the archway, like the open door here, and look what's on the other side of it. All this beautiful golden energy, beautiful blooming, blossoming roses. Again, that can be a nod to romance here for some of my Libras watching this. Maybe there's a beautiful romance ahead for you, or coming in now for you after a time of what felt tumultuous or like disappointing, you know, events in your life. This can also be family, like family togetherness. This can be reunions coming in, marriage. This can be the card of marriage coming in, especially since we have this card here too. Maybe some of you went through something really hard in a marriage and you're renewing your vows even. This can be, you know, reaching that place where now like we've taken the masks off and we're, you know, there's new hope here, and we're ending the old, you know, marriage, and we're starting the new one, right? Know that ultimately what you've been through, even though it hasn't been easy over these last few months, it's going to be worth it. And there's so much loveliness coming in for you guys with this new cycle. And you've grown through what you've gone through. And having really discovered your own power and strength within. So Libra, these are your messages. Take care, guys. I'll be back in a few weeks with some more oracle messages for you all. Bye.